Hey family, welcome back to my channel, and I want to get right into it. I'm a little tired today, but I said, you know what? I'm not going to sleep until we talk about this case because I know y'all have heard about this story in Chicago. Her name was Krystal Rivera. She was a police officer who was shot by her partner. People have been calling me a conspiracy theorist since I was 2. Okay. Immediately when I heard this story, I said the cop did it intentionally because it just don't make sense. And first, when they first came out, they start trying to blame it on someone else completely, which now they're stating that it was 2 other people that they was investigating for having guns and end up going into an apartment building or running into an apartment building where they're confronted supposedly. I keep saying supposedly because the story didn't change like 50 times. Okay. And I'm going to show you how I catch them lying because I'll read different reports because they do lie. I know they lie. Once I caught you one time, I know what to look for going forward. So I'm going to show you a couple examples of how they lie. And then we're going to go into a couple videos that are interesting. And I want you to see them as well. All right, y'all. So I'm going to try to clear some of this up for you, okay? Now, this is the original article that was reported and confused the hell out of everybody because it didn't really go into details and explain who shot this woman. And let's read together. It states, officers approached the suspect, but the individual immediately fled on foot into a nearby building. So I'm starting in the middle of the article here to save time. But if you heard about the story, you're familiar with where I'm at, okay? So it states, again, I'll start over. Officers approached the suspect, but the individual immediately fled on foot into a nearby building. Law enforcement subsequently pursued the suspect into the building, but were confronted by another individual who was armed inside of the residence, which the suspect fled to. Okay. It goes on to say the armed offender fled the residence and was taken into custody. An officer sustained a gunshot wound and was taken to an area hospital where she succumbed to injuries. The police officer who died has not yet been named, etc., etc. So everything I just read to you, did any of that point to her being shot by her partner? Reading this, it makes it seem like we encountered a suspect or a criminal, and that person is the person who shot her, and he has been pursued, right? So I just wanted to call out the original storyline that was reported made it seem like it was someone else, okay? People can say the story was just unfolding. They didn't have that much details yet. Well, if you didn't have that many details, you have to be quiet. You're putting out this false perception. And to me, that's the same thing as lying because you know what it's going to do and you know what type of effect it's going to have when you put it out. So that was the first red flag. So storyline, weird. They put this information out, didn't mention the partner. What's something else that we can call out today? Well, let's go to this article. So I want to call out how they lie or misreport, okay? So this article said another officer was shot in his or her wrist and was hospitalized in fair condition. Does that make sense to y'all? His or her? Who is it? His, her? Which one is it? Like, that don't even make no sense to me. They just be so like vague with the details. So I read that. I'm like, okay, it must have been the partner that was shot, right? No. The journalism nowadays is just not what it used to be. I'm looking at this like this ain't telling me no information. Okay, somebody was shot. I don't know if it's a girl. I don't know if it's a boy. But at least I know that another officer was shot in the wrist, right? Wrong. This one says another officer sustained a wrist injury. Well, god dog it, a wrist injury is real different from being shot in your wrist, right? So I'm like, okay, Erica, let them slide. They went from shot to wrist injury. I can let them slide on that, right? Wrong. Y'all. Chicago police officer Krystal Rivera was fatally shot by friendly fire during a foot chase Thursday night, with officials confirming only her partner's weapon was discharged. So only one gun was fired that day. That's what it says right here. So did this man shoot himself plus the officer at the same time? How you get shot in your wrist and also shoot the officer in the back at the same time? Don't make sense to me. Red flag. Red flag. Red flag. I'm gonna keep saying that because I'm gonna put that in after every single thing that's a red flag. I like to read a bunch of different articles because I know that they lie or they stretch the truth, and I just want to see what this station's reporting, what this station is reporting. Again, it's just good to do that, okay? So, this article, I was reading it and it said, officers got Rivera into a car and tried to rush her into the hospital, but they crashed and the car caught fire. So, you hear that? It says that they crashed, all right? That's a big difference between crashing and this article saying there was some type of malfunction in that vehicle that caught fire. Some type of malfunction. You mean like crashing the entire car? One article says that they crashed. Plenty of other articles will say that the car malfunctioned. Again, to me, that's a big difference. So if you tell me it crashed, it crashed. You say it malfunctioned, it malfunctioned. That doesn't mean crashed, okay? These are just my opinions. Next, I want to show you some rumors that are being said in the streets of Chicago, okay? Take a look at this video.
Hey, I know y'all done heard what happened in Iraq, right? A couple days ago, a Chicago officer was unalive. They blamed it on the YN, said they got chopsticks, they got switches. They also said that they had a few people in custody. Come to find out 24 hours later that another officer, it was friendly fire, unalive that officer. Rest in peace to that young lady, man. She was 36 years old and she was fighting for the crime in the streets. But just so happened, another officer unalived her. Now, I got some deep details about this. They said that these two were having an affair. Supposed to be some text messages that's about to come out, and she was going to let his wife know. Just sit back and wait, man. Chicago is one of the crookedest cities in America.
Y'all heard what he said? That's wild, right? I mean, I wouldn't put it past them. You know how these workplaces be. Sorry, I'm messing with my hair. I'm hot in here. I'm like burning up. I think it's this UV lamp. But you know how these workplaces be. Police departments, call centers, it don't matter. You know, they got their little thing going on. So I would not put it past them. But that's all allegedly right now. Those are rumors, so there's no article on that. I guess we can't go with that. But I just wanted to show y'all that video, okay? So we went from officer got shot in the wrist. We don't know if it's a girl or boy, but they got shot in the wrist. It was a wrist injury. Still don't know if it's a girl or boy. Never mind. They ain't even talking about the wrist no more. They just saying there was only one weapon that was discharged that night. They ain't even bringing up the wrist no more. So anyways, I'm like, all right. It's just a risk, we're gonna let it go. But they lying, right? Then I was sitting there thinking, who lets a woman go first? You know, whether you're a cop or not, like into danger, you gonna say, go ahead, ma'am. Go right ahead. I'm gonna go after you. Ladies first. Like, that don't even make no sense. Like, what are you doing? You let her go first, really? Okay. Red flag. The fact that she was shot in the back, everybody thinking the same thing, right? Right. I'm thinking a little bit deeper than that. She's shot in the back. Why didn't she shoot? If you're the only one who discharged your gun and you shot her in the back, that means that she was in front of you. That means that the threat was in front of her. So why did she not perceive a threat? Why didn't she fire her gun? Red flag. And then after that, you telling me the guy that you originally stopped to investigate runs into an apartment building where you chase after them. You get inside and you're confronted by another person who then points a gun at you, and you telling me that's the person y'all decided to take in to jail. This man was probably sitting on his couch minding his business, watching Four Brothers, probably the scene that sounds just like this. And he was like, what the heck? Somebody busting my door, best believe if I got it next to me, I'm gonna up it, you know what I'm saying? I'm just, if it's next to me. So I don't understand how y'all bust into this man's house. He don't know what's going on. He don't know if his friend is being chased downstairs. He don't know what's going on. He chilling at the house. Y'all bust into this man's house. He pulled his gun. That sounds normal to me. And if it was a threat then, why didn't you shoot him? Oh, my bad. You did shoot. You just shot the wrong person. Forgot. Red flag. It just don't make no sense to me. At least take the person in that you initially started to chase. You gonna take the person in who you encountered after the chase? Red flag, y'all. That don't even make no sense. Red flag. Next, the non-transport of an ambulance. You telling me after all of this done happened, you couldn't even call this woman an ambulance? Where they have life-saving measures right there in the ambulance, like oxygen and maybe saline and gauzes and things like that, things that are needed. You gonna take her in a police car? Red flag. And then on a way to taking this woman to the hospital, your car malfunctioned or crashed, depending on which article you want to go with, and it catches on fire. Red flag. And then they transport this woman to the hospital after waiting who knows how long for the other car to show up. Red flag. I was reading an article, and one of the articles said that her mama was able to be transported with her. How y'all able to get this woman's mama down there, but y'all can't even get her an ambulance? It don't make no sense. And I feel so bad for this woman because, again, I feel like they were intentionally trying to take her out because he already shot her and she survived. So now he got to do what? He got to finish the job. You have the worst luck ever, or you did all this on purpose. These are just my opinions, y'all. These are just my opinions, okay? So this story is crazy. I'm tired of these corrupt cops. They need to go. If they're willing to do this to their own people, what you think they willing to do to you? Don't trust it. I don't trust it. Red flags. This is wild to me, and it's been burning me up sitting here just watching all these different stories coming out, lying to y'all. So I'm here for you, family. I'm gonna always make sure I can come with the correct information as much as possible. Okay? What do y'all think? You think that it was unintentional? You think this officer was trigger happy and just was trying to get the suspect? Or do you think he shot this woman on purpose? Go ahead and drop your comments below, family. I appreciate you for stopping by and having this conversation with me. Go ahead and help your sister get some like-minded people in the building. Like, share, and subscribe. All right?